Yo guys, I'm HP, this is Dr. Pink, and today's topic is beginner rock guitar power chords. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button, and also join the HPCrazy Guitar Academy. So this tutorial is for all those guys out there who probably just bought a guitar and want to learn rock guitar. I'm going to the very first guitar lesson and saying to your teacher, hey, I just want to play rock guitar, I cannot play anything. So this is an introduction, and this will help you a lot to, overcome the first obstacles, mastering this thing here called guitar. Okay, so once you went through this, you can go to the basic rock guitar chords. I'm gonna make a link in the description below. Once you've done this, you go to the next step, and then after that you're basically already ready to play rock guitar on a quite good level. So first thing you need to know, what are these knobs for? Just open them all, put them on 10. Then whatever kind of guitar you have, play on the bridge pickup. You have a selector here. If you don't know which one is the bridge pickup and which not, you just go in the extreme position and play something. And there where the tone is more bright, that's the bridge pickup. So you select the bridge pickup, and then you take your amplifier or your sound system, and then you select the distortion. Okay? What you hear, that's the distortion. As a beginner, I strongly recommend that you don't put it, when you select the distortion, don't put the gain too high, because as a beginner you're going to make a lot of mistakes, and that means a lot of noise. So the lower your distortion is, the less noise you create, even you're still doing some mistakes here. Okay? Next thing, you need to tune your guitar properly, because power chords sound terrible if your guitar is not tuned properly. So really pay attention to the tuning, but I won't talk about the tuning here, just give you the recommendation. So where do we start now? The thing is, when you start guitar, it's the same for everybody. You need to first learn chords, And that's a process which takes quite a while. I remember my process was from 1 till 3 months. I made that process in 1 till 3 months, and the regular is 3 till 6 months. But if you're saying I only want to play rock guitar, you can that's the only shortcut I know. You can, beside learning those chords, which I'm not talking about today, you can still already start to play, because the chords I'm showing you now are quite easy to grab, and they really represent what rock guitar is made of. So let's get started. Alright, I'm going to show you the main power chords in 3 keys. A key is, if you play a tune, it's played in a key, like, that will be a key of E. Sounds different than you play tune in the key of A. You heard it's something else. These are called keys, and as a beginner you can work with 3, or you can work with all keys, but you need to understand what a key is. Okay, so there are 2 keys available which work with so-called open string power chords, and one of the most common bands or known bands which works with those chords is AC/DC. A lot of AC/DC tunes, at least the early ones, are like these 4 chords, and they're basically is the key of E, and you play as a E5 is like this. Open E string, press here in the 2nd fret, attack those 2 strings, E and A string. Okay? You can also try the regular ones that you cover with your index finger 2 strings, so the A and the D string, that would be the regular one. So now you play 3 strings. Okay? The next chord in a rock tune in E would be G. You press with the middle finger here in the 3rd fret, then you touch with this finger the A string that it's not played. See, it's damped. And then you play the D and the G string here as well. So again you play 3 strings. The lowest, well, some say the highest. The E string, the A string is damped, the D string and the G string. The next chord will be A5. Power chords are always called 5. You know, E5, A5, D5, these are power chords. A5 is the same as the E5, just moved 1 string up. Now with the open A string, so the 2nd string, you press here in the 2nd fret, and if you can, you also press the 2nd fret of the next string, which will be the G string. So, and one of the biggest difficulties is is to hit only the strings which you're supposed to hit. That's why I told you before, don't use a too big distortion, because when you hit the other strings, then it's easy to create unwanted noises. So we have A5, and last but not least, we have D5. That's probably the hardest chord to grab of all of those today. Here, middle finger on the 3rd fret on the B string, this is this one here, and index finger on the 2nd fret here on the G string, and now you play the D string, the G string and the B string like this. Or if you can, you also add the A string. So now you play 4 strings. As you can see, these chords are not really hard to grab, and that's why you can play rock guitar without knowing the basic chords. But the problem is that you only hit the strings which are supposed to be sounding. That's the biggest problem, so pay attention to your right or the hand, if you're lefty, your left hand. So E5, G5, then D5 to A5 and back to E5. Looks quite easy. I mean, for a beginner it's probably not easy, but it's like in the range of that you can do this very soon. And you already can hear this already sounds very much like rock guitar and very much like AC/DC. What looks really easy, that you just go through this and exact those strings are sounding which should sound. In fact, that takes practice. This is not so easy, that's the main problem. And also synchronizing your left hand grabbing and your right hand, or opposite if you're a left-hander, with this. And in rock it's often downstroke. So you play downstroke, 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 and downstroke. Okay? So that will be a first thing to do. Now we switched to another key. We go to A. As you remember, before we had an E5 and A5, so now we start here. The first, basically 99% of the tunes, the first chord you're playing is the key. So A5, now we have the key of A. Now we have these chords available. We have A5, G5 to D5 and E5. Now you guys out there say, what's the deal? The same chords as before. Well, that's not. As I said, the first chord defines the key. If you play it in E again, first chord is E. You can make also other combinations of these chords as long as you start with E and end with E. So this tune will be in E5. If you go to A5, same thing again, you start with A5, go through the 4 chords in any combination you like. Start on A5, end on A5, then this defines more or less the key. Well, later you will see not necessarily, but as a beginner, this defines the key. So now we have 2 keys available here with open string. But there are more keys available. Why? Because we have 12 notes. So this, when you play this string here, is the E string. And when you go here where the 2 dots are, that's the octave. So we have an E, and where the 2 dots are is an E again. And all notes in between are also keys, possible keys. So E, the next will be F, G, A, B, C, D, E. Now, some people might say, oh, how can I keep all the notes in mind? It's really simple. When you start on A, which was here, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So it's the alphabetic order, but the distance between those are that one you need to know by heart. From the A to the B, it's 2 frets. From the B to the C is 1 fret. From the C to the D is 2 frets. From the D to the E is 2 frets. From the E to the F is 1 fret. From the F to the G is 2 frets. And from the G to the A is 2 frets. And the notes in between, we don't talk about this today, but they also get names. Well, I can tell you, if you go, let's take the C. If you take the one fret above, it's called sharp, and if it's 1 fret below, it's called flat. So that will be C flat. But also this is also B. So I don't want to confuse it too much, but if you go 1 fret up, it's sharp, and if you go 1 fret down, it's flat. And you mark it with the B, so flat. Okay, so now let's take another key like C. G. Now, the regular power chords without open strings are like this. So we have here the G, as you know from before, the G, and then you press 2 frets above the next string. But beginners have their difficulties with that chord, so you can work on this just that you get this stretch. Okay? That will take a few weeks, but you can play power chords before if you use the inversions. So you can, as you remember here, we were pressing 2. Now if we only play, we can do the same here as well. If you take these 2 and we don't play the G here, here's a G. It's also G5. This will be a G5, but this is also G5. It's way easier to grab, so you just need to cover 2 strings here on the A and on the D string, 5th fret. The next will be here. So you move up 1 string, now you go in the 3rd fret, D string, G string, and 5th, and you see I'm using the ring finger, index finger, ring finger. That already sounds quite like a rock riff. And basically this is probably the most played rock riff ever is played here. By using exactly those chords, and probably when the guys invented this song they want to make their life easy their lives easy just by using these easy to grab chords. So we have the chord G5, we have here it's B flat 5, C5, and then we have two more here, down here. You just move here down 4 frets, back up 2 frets, so you can make anything. Again, you start on the first and end it again here, and then you have a rock riff. You can make any types of combinations on this. Okay, so now if you want to change the key, you just move anywhere you like. Let's go here. Same thing here. You just move the shape to a position where you like, or here. Okay, it's really simple. That's the good thing on guitar. Keys are not so hard because you just move it on the fretboard where you want, and the shapes remain the same. So that's the first part. You played the power chords. Probably takes you 2 till 3 weeks till you can grab this and can play this. Now comes the second part. Rock is or rock guitar power chords is basically a rhythm instrument. So you need to learn basic rhythm. What is rhythm? This. You have a drum. Now you need to find out where's the one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Now you count 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Just do like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? You don't see my foot. My foot is going with the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this 1 till 4 is called a bar. Now if you want to play a bar, you just play, the easiest way, you just play 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the bar is over. Now if you have 1 bar of, let's go back to E5. 1 bar of E5, 1 bar of G5, 1 bar of D5, 1 bar of A5. This already creates us a rock guitar riff or rock guitar tune. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Let's start 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So that will be the next step. So you'd not only play the chords, you also play them in a time frame of bars. You need to learn to count 1, 2, and hit the chord exactly on the 1. Okay? That will be a first exercise. You can play any chord or any thing I just showed you. And now you just play them on the 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you have to be ready to switch the chord. And the later you can switch it, the better. But if you're still have difficulties in changing the chords, you just stop early. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's better, it's more important that you change the chord right on time than to hold this till the end. So if you have difficulty in changing, just move your fingers earlier that you're ready on the 1 of the next bar to play the next chord. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, now I changed earlier. Well, I stopped early that I'm ready on the 1 of the next bar. Okay? Now we are playing so-called, now you need to understand really basic rhythm or timing figures. And the first figure was that when you just hold the chord for the 4 beats. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's called a whole note and is displayed. I made a working sheet for you guys. Let me see. Where are the exercises I did for you guys? Here. Well, you'll find them in the HPCrazy Guitar Academy for download. But I show you here. See, the whole notes are just like this circle, like this. You see it in the bar, circle in the bar, and no thingy attached to it. That's a whole note. That means it's holded four beats. If it has that thingy, then it's only 2 beats. So in this case, if you want to fill the bar with those guys, it goes 1, 2, and then it's finished. Instead of 1, 2, 3, 4. In this case, you play 2 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you need to learn to count while you play. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So that would be that, and together with the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. It's really simple. But for a beginner, of course, not easy. That stuff you need to practice. Once you can do it, it's like riding a bike. It's no problemo. But it takes a moment till everything works, because it's really complex. You need to grab something here, you need to do something here, you have your foot, and you need to count. There's so many things you have to do at the same time, and that's the part of the learning, but at least the chords are not so hard to grab. Now if this circle, before it was empty, is filled with ink, so it's a black spot with one of those, then it's called a quarter note. In this case, you have 4 per bar, so 1, 2, 3. So you play 1, 2, 3, 4. Same thing again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Really simple. Yeah. You just need to count and play the quarter notes. You also need to learn that not playing is also music. So if you play quarter notes, you can play like the first and the third and the second and the fourth note. So you play 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. And if you want to stop the note, you just put your hand on the strings with this part of the hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, or you can play the first 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, or the first and the fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. See, now it already starts to sound like music, even it's really basic rhythm stuff. Okay, you can also make combinations with the half notes. You play a half note and 2 quarter notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now let's do the last rhythm figure, and then we're soon finished. The 8 notes. These are these guys filled with ink, and they have this thing, and they're connected. 2 of them are connected. That means you play 2 on 1 beat. So if this is the beat, 1, 2, play 2 per beat. 1 and 2. And the best to learn them is you just count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You do the beat 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Now you play. Okay. You need to learn these 4 basic timing figures beside learning to grab the chords, to get your foot going on, and also counting at the same time you're playing. You will not make this in 2 or 3 weeks, of course, but at least when I come back to the basic chords I was talking at the very beginning, you don't have so much difficulties in changing the chords, and that will not hold you back. Now you can make any kind of combinations of those rhythm figures with the chords, and just move through the chords as showed, and then you already sound like a pretty good rock guitar player. And if you're precise, you can already play in a band after 3 months. Let's do something in E. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, now I just played the chords and just did some of the rhythm figures which I just taught you. And if you can just move them around like this, playing the chords, they're pretty much ready to go. Yo guys, that was beginner rock guitar power chords. This is really from the very first time you touch a guitar, you can play the stuff like that I just showed you at the end. I think you can make this in 2 to 3 months if you practice this stuff daily on a regular basis. Let's say 10 minutes. Better will be 15 minutes. Just work the stuff through. Just take your time, learn to grab the stuff, learn to attack the strings, learn to count while you're playing. So also, you know, everything which comes additional is something which can overwhelm your whole system. And it really needs practice that you can do all these things at the same time. It seems to be easy, but if you're brand new to guitar, it ain't. I have a lot of experience, but I really tried to make tips or that to make your guys' life easier. And honestly, most of the time there are no shortcuts, but this is one of the very few shortcuts I know. So if you start guitar from the very beginning and you say, I just want to do rock guitar, do this stuff here. And like in 3 months, you can already play in a band if you want, if you understood everything which I just was talking about here. And the main thing is that you play the right chord in the right timing signature. And that's it. You know, the chords are really simple. When I do the simple versions, they don't sound like beginner chords, you know. That doesn't mean that there are beginner chords. It's just there's the easiest version you can do, and the better you understand the rhythm. That's why rhythm is a big part of the tutorial. The better you understand rhythm and the more precise you can play that stuff, the faster you're ready to play with the big boys. That's how it is. Yo. One more to say. I made this working sheet for you. It's available in the HPCrazy Guitar Academy. Once you went through this process, I'm gonna add a second link in the description. Then you're ready for basic rock guitar. And then you start using and more combinations or more techniques. Then the additional techniques come, but if you don't have a proper foundation, it's too early for you to do that. So once you can do this, then you checked in the description box below is a link to the next step. And after that, you can play with the big boys if you're really precise. I mean, it's not about speed, it's about precision and hitting the right chord at the right moment and making a proper rhythm. Yo, that's all. Being Dr. Pink or saying goodbye.